guys, I'm Lindsay with Fitbliss and this is Katie. Today we're going to be demoing for you the barbell back squat. This is an exercise that a lot of women get wrong, and today we're going to show you the do's and don'ts to get it perfect. So first we're going to talk about breathing and bracing. First I'm going to have Katie demo what I call the Instagram squat. It's a squat where you really stick your butt out. It's like during the squat you're trying to make your butt look good rather than making the exercise be done right. So here, when she does this, she's gonna just sit back. You see the first thing that happens is her butt shoots back, her rib cage comes out, and her hips are way behind her body. Good. There's a big arch in her lower back. At the bottom, you see her butt kind of like dip down. That is called a butt wink. It kind of looks like a twerk. This is commonly what a new lifter's squat is going to look like. And there are some small changes we can make right here to make your squat look way better and to work your glutes much more. So instead, Katie is going to lightly squeeze her glutes and her rib cage is going to tuck down. So versus being up, it's going to tuck down. And now she's going to take her torso and she's just going to kind of bend her chest forward and move everything back nice and smooth in a diagonal line. Good. And up. Good. Here you see in this version, her upper body, her torso stays in more of a straight line on the way down. Bam, perfect. Versus the one before, go ahead and do the Insta squat. Good, where everything kind of just goes crazy and goes back behind her. So here again, she's taking a big breath, bracing her core, nice and controlled, sitting back. That is a perfect core position for the squat. The next thing we're going to talk about is hand placement on the bar. This is something really simple, but if you don't do it right, it can make the bar feel a little bit uneven on your back. So Katie's going to walk up. When you're going up to the bar very initially, you want to get your hands even on the bar. You'll notice most barbells have some areas that are rough, smooth. There's ring marks over here. You can use the bar as a gauge to be sure your hands are even on both sides. Perfect. Now go ahead and lift it off. Here her hands are nice and even, so when she stands the bar up, we're going to see the bar come up nice and evenly balanced. Perfect. Okay, go ahead and rack it. Versus if she's not super aware of that, go ahead and come out, Katie. Make your hands mismatched more to one side or the other. A little more dramatic. There you go. Good. Perfect. Okay, now if she wasn't being mindful of this, go ahead and unrack that. On accident, the bar is going to be heavier on this side versus that side, which is going to throw everything off. Whoop. Perfect. Okay. Once you're sure you have your hands in the right place and they're nice and even, then we can work on unracking the bar. So the first thing you need to be careful of, Katie has a really good wrist position here. You don't want to have your wrist bent like this. Not only is that going to make your wrist sore, you're not going to be very tight. You're not going to be able to activate your lats, your bicep to help keep you tight under the lift. So instead of being here, go ahead and tuck them like this. Perfect. Now the right way to unrack the bar is her hips are here and she's going to push her hips forward, stand up and squeeze her glutes to unrack it. Perfect. Ideally, we just have a 1-2 step to get the bar out of the cage. Perfect. That's exactly how the unracking and the walking out should look. All right, Katie, let's show them one that's not done so well. Go ahead and rack the bar and step out. Now, something that a lot of people do is they go under the bar without their feet being even and they kind of pull the bar out with their back rather than using their hips to unrack the bar. Katie, go ahead and show me one of those. That is going to put a strain on your lower back. It's not ideal. It's way better to use your butt and your hips to unrack it. All right, once you have a good feel for where to put your hands on the bar and how to unrack the bar, go ahead and stand it up, Katie. The next thing we're going to talk about is walking the bar out. So it's very important here to take as few steps as possible to preserve energy. As the weight gets heavier and heavier, every step you take is going to tire you out and make it harder to complete the set. So to keep things nice and efficient, just keep the steps limited to 2 to 3 steps like this. Perfect. That's great. Now, what a lot of new lifters do instead of this is take way too many steps, and Katie, I'm going to have you demo that. Yes. So don't do that. Instead, be super confident, core tight, just step out 1-2 steps, and you'll be good to go. Okay, next we're going to talk about foot placement in the squat. This is something that there are a lot of people out there who try to make like one general rule, like everyone's feet should be here. That's totally not true. Where you put your feet is going to depend a lot on your personal mobility, the length of your femur, the length of your torso. There's a lot of different factors that are going to impact where you put your feet. We're going to go over a couple of them and you can kind of try them out and see what feels great for you. first is one where your feet are a little bit closer together and your toes are pointing a little bit more straight. That's great. You may also want to have your toes pointed out a little bit more. And then there's a lot of people who actually do a little bit better with a wider stance squat, which here your feet are a little bit outside of your hips rather than inside of your hips. The biggest thing we want to keep an eye on here is that your knee tracks over your toe. So for example, point your toes out a little bit more. If she had her toes pointed way out like this, when she goes down to do a squat, you see how her knees are falling in. Here her knee is inside of her foot and her toe is out here. Now Katie's really flexible, so she could actually probably clean that up. Push your toes or your knees out more. Good. See, in this squat, her knee is over her toe, and that is absolutely perfect. Go ahead and stand back up. Bring your toes together, feet a little more together. She has really good body awareness, so she can kind of create this knee over her toe in any position. Go ahead and do it again. Perfect. That's what we're looking for. So as long as your toes are in line with your knees, everything is good, and you can kind of play with different foot positions until you find the one that makes you feel strongest.
Okay, we're good.
Okay. And when it comes to your feet, there's something else you really need to keep in mind. It's thinking of screwing your feet into the ground. Now, when we screw our feet into the ground, it's going to allow us to get a lot tighter, and it's going to help us activate and use our glutes in our squat. So think of it like this. Pretend these are your feet. When your feet are on the ground, you're thinking of screwing them into the floor this way. So it's almost like you have a little screw on the bottom of your heel, and you are just screwing it in. Katie, go ahead and show them. So she's going to focus on that. She's screwing in. I want you actually, Katie, can you point your toes forward? Perfect. And now relax. When she's relaxed, you see her knees are coming in. Knees are coming in. Glutes are relaxed. She's not very tight. So she's going to use her feet to screw in. And when she does that, you see how that will open up her knee, open up her ankle, open up her hip. From the side, I can see it actually activating her glutes. Her glutes look a little fuller. And it's basically just opening her up, so when she goes down to do the squat, the knees will push out and open up her hips very well. Versus, point your toes forward and relax. Good. Here, if she does it like this, go ahead and try to do a squat. Her knees are going to cave in. She's going to be a lot more passive, and we're getting little to no booty work. All right, now to bring it all together, once you've learned all these other tips, the next thing is just really controlling the descent. As you lower the weight, you're just going to go not really slow, but at a pace that you can keep everything tight and maintain all the things we've previously talked about. So Katie, go ahead and show them what that looks like. Good, and up. That's perfect. Now another thing a lot of people do in the beginning is they just take it too fast. Katie, give me one that's gone too fast. Good. You see when she does that, it's harder for her to maintain the core. It's harder for her to maintain the things we've already talked about today. So just get it nice and tight, control the descent. Perfect. And rack it. All right, now we're going to bring it all together, and Katie's going to show us a few reps of her perfect squats. She's just unracking the bar with a couple of small steps, a nice big belly breath embrace, taking the body down, smooth in a diagonal line. Perfect. Nice, good control, and then power out of the hole. Good breathing, back tight, and drive. This is a really great example of a perfect squat. She's just below parallel. Her core is neutral. Good breathing. Everything looks great. Thanks, Katie. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any questions about squats or any exercises at all, go ahead and leave a comment in the comment section. Thank you.